So, if something like inconsistent people's awards existed, I think Brenda Nyambeki, would have bagged it proudly and consistently, So here's the thing, I've been so inconsistent with my content, and I've even been thinking about just giving up on it because I'm like, I don't think I can take it anymore. But then there's this voice that keeps telling you, Brenda, you can't do this, you can't do that, you really can't give up on it. What happened to Trapped? What is Trapped? Everyone meets you and asks you. So I thought, let me just do it. And so this is what has been happening. I've been having a crew that has been helping me in the shooting. But people are out here chasing dreams, people are out here chasing money, because yeah, we all need money. But my crew has been really busy, and so I'm the one left to wander alone. So I've always been telling myself, I'm just waiting. I've been asking them, but not in a bad way. I'm so happy for them, and I'm so proud that they're making moves because they're getting nice deals out here. And so I just thought to myself, what can I do? I have a phone. I can get equipment, even though it won't be equipment that will match what my crew has been giving me. But I was like, yeah, let me try, let me give it a shot and do it on my own. So I won't do the introduction again. Here's the thing, I won't do the introduction again. I've done introduction so many times. I will pick up from where I left. And I know maybe quality has changed kidogo, of course. Quality najua ina change, but bear with me for now as I do this thing on my own, and I try to keep the dream alive. So yes, let's do this. Watu wangu, my name is Nyambex, and I am trapped but thriving. So we've decided we are removing the in my 20s because I was told I'm an ageist. So yeah, let's just do trapped but thriving. And in this vodcast or YouTube channel, we get to talk about adulting, basically. What defined your adulting, what things you go through, and how you're maneuvering the challenges. So in my last episode, I had spoken about my mom and how I'd lost my mom and how I did not grieve my mom for the longest time. And so yes, let me tell you the story. I know I was going to talk about the grieving process, but here's the thing. I can't remember. I don't know exactly which stage I did not go through, but what I know is there's just something that was amiss in my healing process. So here's the thing. I have three brothers. I will attach the photo somewhere. As I've said, bear with me as I'm doing this thing on my own. I will attach the photo somewhere. I have three brothers. I'm the only girl. And I'm the last born. And so one time, my second born bro invited us to his church. I remember we are SDs. We go to church on Sunday. Duh. And so I remember um looking at because my second born brother was a bit busy. There are some things he was coordinating in church, and so as we were walking to church, I remember looking at my big brother and telling him, I'm starting therapy. I don't think I'm in a good place, but what I know is I need therapy. He looked at me and be, oh, is it that serious? I was like, what do you mean, is it that serious? And then he switched to, manzi, unajua venye mi natamaningi hiyo kitu, unaenda tu unakana msee, unaongea naye. Like, he got so fascinated with the idea of doing therapy. And in my head, I was looking at him najiuliza, bra, uko sawa? Mi naenda therapy juu na struggle, wewe unataka kwenda therapy juu inakubamba. Gosh, make it make sense. So let's go to what made me go for therapy. I think it was in 2021. I had been in and out of jobs. I will not lie. If there's something that I have sat down and analyzed in my life, is I am so inconsistent in things that I do. Even in this content creation, it's just not this content creation. I am so inconsistent in things that I do. In that I start something and I get bored easily and I move on to the next one. But then I realized it's the adulting thing, and for me, I was just hit by my mom's death and now having to figure out life on my own. And so I had gotten this job, something that I had really wanted to do. Um, and I felt like we were not on the same page with my boss. We were always on loggerheads. My boss will say this, I will say that. And I'm looking at my colleagues and I'm asking them, "Are you guys okay with all this arrangement?" And they're like, "Yes, it goes." So I'm like, "How? Make it make sense." And then what happened was I just we were having the 3 month in Itongaje preview. No, review. Wazungu. It was the review. We were doing the review. And so yeah, I just we reached an agreement, and I told them I don't think, oh, we both reached an agreement. We're like, this thing is not working for both of us. You're not comfortable in an institution, and we're equally not comfortable having you. And so yeah, it was an amicable breakup, if I could say that. So yes, I left that job, and I remember I left it, was it on a Monday? I can't remember the exact date. Then I went home, and while I was just at home, I was like, there's something wrong. There's something not adding up. I went through my CV, and I went through my previous, like I was just analyzing my previous employers. It's only two jobs that I had enjoyed, and they ended they just came to a stop because of COVID. But these other jobs, I did them because I was like, I'm just doing it because I want money, you know? And so when I was doing the analysis in my head, I was asking myself, this employer, tulikosana kwa nini? Tulikosana juu mimi Nyambex nilikuwa nataka vitu zifanywe hivi na hivi na hivi, but my employer is looking at me and wondering, what are you saying, madam? You know, this other employer, the same thing. Like, I just wanted things done my way. But no, of course not in all companies. The other companies were like, they were really pushing me to the edge, you know. I felt like they wanted me to do things that were not on my JD. And when you ask for, this is not in my JD, are we talking about overtime, or are we talking about increasing the salary? They're like, no, Brenda, the company does not have money. The company does not have money, but you know. But anyway, so yeah, I was just doing the analysis. So when I left this job, I told myself, before I take up another job, don't ask me how I survived, yo, bruh. So nikajiambia, before I take up another job, I need to find out what exactly is going on in my life. I sat down. I remember that it was in July, and in July is a month that I really, really struggled with my mom's death, because my mom died on 24th July. So that month had not really been a good month for me, and I remember just looking at my employer, looking at my life, and I told myself, if I want to go through with this thing, I need to find out what exactly is wrong in my life. Because I told myself, there's no way all my employers can be on the wrong. Hell no. And I remember a friend of mine telling me sometime back, there's no way unaweza kuwa unakosana na kila mtu. But then again, there's a way unaweza kosana na kila mtu. Especially if maybe, but let's not get into that story. But bottom line is, I felt like there was something wrong with my life, and I needed to find out what exactly was going on. So let me take you back to, just hold on to that thought of me now going for therapy. Let me take you back to 2018. So my mom died in 2016. I graduated in 2017. 2018, I signed up for therapy. So I signed up for this private psychologist, and so it was 1,500 1 hour. Let me tell you, fanya therapy ndo ujue 1 hour ni 5 minutes. Just go for therapy, and then you'll realize, oh shit, my money has just gone, and there's nothing much I have done or said. I remember signing up. Do I remember her? But I remember her because I still have her number. So I called her up and I said, yeah, I want to do therapy. I've just lost my mom recently in 2016, and I feel like I need to do this therapy. And so I remember the first session, it was actually 1,500 shillings. So I sit down. It was a nice office, by the way. You know how the psychologist offices are portrayed in movies? People out here doing the most in Kenya, brah. So I went. 1 hour. I think I didn't know, like I hadn't in my mind, I hadn't factored like in my head I was just I ndo tumeanza session. So when I'm just like about to now start, the first session is normally you get to know each other, like, or rather she gets to understand where you're coming from as her patient. And so I remember, I think we had done intros for, is it 20? I can't really remember the details, but what I just remember is her telling me, Brenda, so I'm sorry I've had you, I think, and then she said, our time is up for today, but I'm booking you for this and this date. I looked at her, I'm like, that is 1,500 shillings gone. Of course, she has done her job. She had gotten what she wanted as the doctor. And so for the next sessions is when we're going to like open up everything, like peel off the layers. But me, I'm wondering, I'm asking myself, unamaanisha nini 15? Then now you can't throw tantrums because it was in the T and C's. It was 1,500 for 1 hour. But in my head, I didn't know 1 hour would fly away like that. So I just told myself, and then that time, 2018, I didn't have a job. I was in between auditions, I was in between hustles, I was in between volunteering. I didn't have like a stable source of income. And so I told myself, mi na feel niko poa. Yeah, I treated myself and I told myself, Nyambex, uko sawa, twende sana, tuchape life. And I think that is the biggest mistake I did in my life. That is the one mistake that of course, I've come to forgive myself, because I feel like I would have been in a different space right now. Then I didn't, like, see me, I'm okay. So me, I'm going on with life. I'm in between gigs. I'm getting gigs. I'm leaving gigs. I'm getting jobs. I'm nakosa. Hey, people are you. I don't want to say people are using me, because I'm in it. Like, I think about it nowadays, and I'm like, mbona nilikuwa na hangout na ule msee alikuwa tu like, ushaika chini una analyze situation, unajiambia ule msee alinitumia, but ni mimi nilimwonyesha nitumie. Boss, use me the way you want to. Like, even not even with men, even with your female friends, they can use, your family can use you, because they just know, if you want this, get Brenda. If you want this, just get Brenda. And so 2018, life goes on. 2019, and ever since my mom died, this is the 2023 is the first year in July. No, 2022, like, I was a bit low, but 2022 and 2023 has been I don't want to say my best year, because I will feel guilty because I'm forgetting my mom, no. But July 2023, I was aware, yeah, it's mom's death anniversary. My mom died on this day, we buried her on this day, and I just sat down and just went through our memories together, and I was like, wow, I should have done therapy a long time ago. So yeah, let's come back to 2018. Yeah, I've stopped going for therapy, and then now I'm in between jobs. I remember I've even done a sales job, a job that I didn't like. I've done what jobs that I didn't like. So that particular year, I quit that job, and then I signed up for therapy. I'm not sure. I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to talk about the place I normally go for therapy now. But it's quite affordable, and it's a government facility. You guys need to do your research. It's a government facility. And the first day I went for therapy, I cried. I cried. That was the first session. Nililia watu wangu. Nililia. That was the first session. And so the first sessions were really back to back, because my psychologist, the therapist, was like, yeah, we'll need to have back to back sessions so that we can really understand what is going on. And then after some time, we started spacing the sessions out. Now, here's the thing. I will tell you what therapy has done for me. Something that I wish, and as I've said this, I've forgiven myself, but I truly and honestly regret not doing this thing a long time ago. I didn't know I was a people pleaser. I did not know. Therapy made me know that, oh my God, Brenda, you are a people pleaser and you need to work on it, you know? And so, and this people pleasing thing comes with boundaries and saying no without any explanation and not having to feel guilty because you've told your friend or your brother no. Kwanza mimi, my brother will call me any day, anytime and be like, sis uko? Nikamwambia place fulani. Unaweza kimya? I was like, naenda. Nawacha kitu nadu, naenda. Why? Because I didn't want to really, like, I had this urge of if I said no, I'd let them down. And in my head I'm like, these are my brothers. What do you mean? Me tell my brothers no? Way. And so I never told my brothers no. Even my friends, it doesn't, like I was just saying, don't get it twisted. Even my friends, like, nilikuwa na struggle, like I'd end up, and I remember it, how now we later realized, or rather how therapy pinpointed it out to me, was there's a time I took, was it 2 or 3 gigs at the same time? Aki Brenda, what were you doing? I took 3 gigs, I think 3 at the same time, because in my head I had told myself nitamaliza hii this time, nitoke niende hii, then I do this, because I don't want to tell these people no. I don't want to tell these people, hi, I'm committed between now and tomorrow unless I take that gig the next day or 2 days later. It didn't, in my heart, it wasn't sitting well with me. I just tell you, no, look for someone else. No. And that's when I realized it was, and I'll tell you the truth, you'd think it was about money at that time when I was taking, like, it's that one experience that is really ingrained in my mind, because in my head I'm asking myself, why did I do that? Why did I take this gig? And they were not, it was not like they were paying large amounts of money, no, but because this friend of mine thought of Brenda and decided, oh shit, Brenda can do this. So in my head I'm like, yeah, Brenda can do it. What do you mean I can do it? And so I take up the gig. And then later is when I realized one of the owners of one gig knew the owner of this, was it, I think, that one of these other gigs. And so they meet up and tell them Brenda is working on her gig. Because she's like, I have an amazing da 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 da. So I know her. She's equally doing it for me. And that's when I knew I had fucked up. Because this first lady was really smart with me. She just came and asked me, how was, because I had lied. I had lied to her, I'm going somewhere else. Like, I didn't tell her the truth. So when I come back, she's like, oh, how was it? Oh, really? Yeah. And then later it hit me. She knew the truth. I keep Brenda. But then now when you explain this to your therapist, you know, me in my head, I'm thinking to myself, of course I made a mistake. It's an honest mistake. But what this mistake was done due to this people pleasing thing. Like, I can't just say no. I can't. And so I remember my therapist telling me one thing. Brenda, you owe no one an explanation. If you cannot do it at that particular point, just tell them, no, I am unavailable, or no, I cannot do it. Do not go ahead and explain. Kwanza, me, I have that thing. You call me, Brenda, are you available tomorrow? And I know I've scheduled something either with my friend or my partner. And I'll be like, apana, nilikuwa nisha schedule kitu. So unless that she told me, Brenda, that needs to stop. So you have pangad things, like umepanga vitu zako, unajua Saturday niko hapa, Sunday niko hapa, Monday niko hapa. And in all honesty, and it's something that, guys, I didn't know this content creation thing is such a hassle. Kenya Power just did the thing and me, I don't have. So I was just watching through what I've recorded. It's interesting. I have a phobia of watching myself, but anyway, that's beside the point. And so, yeah, people pleasing was one thing that really came out. Of course, my diagnosis is different. I'd have shared my diagnosis, but well, But yeah, people pleasing is one thing that I have struggled with in my life. And it's not, and I will tell you the truth. You think you wake up one day and unajiambia ai, ati unazi, sinakwambia no way. I remember the first days, and so what I did is I told my brothers, this and this has come up from my therapy sessions. You guys just, like, I'm always there for you. I don't think I have ever disappointed you guys, but uh and it's not like they disappoint me. It's just that they had other things planned, and my timing was not the best timing. But you see, for me, I didn't have that in mind. Anytime my brothers or my friends would want something from me, I'm always like, I just want to do things for them. I just want to be there for them. I don't want to say no. And so I remember sharing with my brothers and telling them this has come up from my therapy sessions, because it's now we had to do like a family history thing and my relationship with my family and stuff. And I remember going hence, from now going forward, if you feel like I won't be there so much, it's not like I'm avoiding you. It's just that I need to work on this aspect of my life. And so the first was it first week, I think. My brother called me now, my big bro called me, and he wanted me to do something, and I was honestly not available. Honestly not available. And so I told him, ask Tamik. I felt like my heart ilikuwa inatoka. Ilifanya tu dudu dudu dudu. Because nilikuwa najiuliza, Brenda, how dare you say no to your brother? How? And the things he's done for you. But then I just sat down where I was. I breathed in, breathed out, and said, it's not like I am disappointing them. It's just that I would wish to love what they want me to do for them, but not at this particular point. So I just told my brother, kama unaitaka sai, sitaweza. Maybe we do it sometime. And my brother was okay. He did, like, there was no even fuss about it. And I was like, why was I overthinking this whole thing, And that is one thing that has affected me, It's something that comes up, that has really been coming up in my different sessions. It's something that has really taken me time to just work on it. And I had someone say they are a recovering people. Please, I even don't know which phase I am in. What I know is I've been working on it. So and it's something I truly admire with other people. If they cannot do it, they cannot do it. Me, I'd want to do it. Like, so nowadays I'm just like, I can't, and I don't have to explain. So nowadays, if you call me and you're like, you want me to do something, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not, and I just want to, maybe, and it's small things like I just want to sleep in. I just don't bother about it. So I don't overthink. But there are times I feel like, I need to do it, I need to do it. Then I just calm down and give myself that TED talk and tell myself, Brenda, you want to do it, but it's not possible. And so yeah, I think it's interesting. I wish I would have gone for therapy a long time ago, because it's made me realize so many things about myself, how I deal with man. And it's not like your therapist atakwambia, hey Brenda, wacha kufanya hivi, wacha kufanya hivi. These solutions normally come from you. When you go for therapy, they normally come from you. Like, she will ask you, I don't know how other people do it, but for me, my therapist asks me a question, and she's like, okay, do you think you'd have handled this situation differently? And she tells you, just think about it. If roles were reversed, do you think you'd have handled it differently? And if you had have handled it differently, what effect or what impact would it have had on the other person? And now from that, I get to understand I equally make mistakes. Hell, damn. Mi hata jana nimefanya makosa. Hata I think leo asubuhi nimefanya makosa. Like, I don't know. I've made so many mistakes in my life. And another thing is, you also need to, in as much as, because for me it's taken me a while to work on the people pleasing thing, and so I feel like I've missed out on so many opportunities, but then I'm like, I'm forgiving myself. I am forgiving myself for all the bridges I burned. Some I have gone ahead, and some have we've gone ahead and repaired. Like, I was like, I reached out to different people and I was like, I know, I'm sorry, I did this and this and that. And for me, I'm an open-minded person. I will let go. If we choose to forgive me, I will let go. Me sinanga two time here beef. But the others, I'm like, siko sure I want to be the first one to reach out. Sijui kama ni ego. So both of us, the other party and I, our egos are here. So we just don't want to. But I've learned about forgiveness so much about in therapy. And when you hear people out here talk about how they can't do therapy, and I know a friend of mine who's very particular in it. He can't do therapy. He's like, si mi nitaomba, si nitaomba na kila kitu itakuwa sawa. I'm like, yeah, to each their own. You can't force people to go for therapy. But one thing I have come to learn and understand, guys, just go for therapy. If you want me to link up with it, with where I go for therapy, and maybe after some time I will talk about the place I go for therapy. But for me, it's not about the place. It's about this therapist I got who's really helped me. And I wish I'll ask her if I can mention her name. And the fact that she's really worked with me this journey. It's still, I have nowadays, I have my sessions are like 3 months apart, not like zikianza. I used to go like every week. It's draining. Well, it's not. I was looking forward to the sessions because I knew there was something wrong with me. So yeah, I think if you feel like you're in a place where you need to do it, just eat your humble pie and go for therapy. It will make you realize so many things, some things that you're doing or some things you react to. It's not because of you, it's because of what you have gone through. So yeah, go for therapy, guys. It's not so bad. It's nice. It's an amazing experience. So yeah, guys, that's my story about how I went for therapy 6 years later. 6 years later. Imagine, I went for therapy 6 years later after my mom's death. I wish I'd have done it earlier, but oh well, everything happens for a reason. Yes, my name is Nyombex and I am Trapped But Thriving. Please remember to subscribe and share. And if you have stories you'd want to talk about your adulting journey, I was told I'm an ageist, so we're not talking about much about 20s nini. We're just talking about our adulting journey. So feel free to reach out. And yeah, let's share our adulting stories. Otherwise, remember to subscribe, share, like, and comment. I had forgotten saying these things, but yeah, thank you so much from Trapped But Thriving.